Hi there guys, my name's John from ActiveJR.com, and in this video I'm doing a review of the Garmin Vivosmart 3. Now this device has been out for a couple of months now and I've had it in my possession, and what I wanted to do is bring out a review after some of the software updates have been applied and when I had a good time to have a look at this and being able to fully assess it. So if you're looking for a Garmin Vivosmart 3, there's some links in the description below to retailers that have got up-to-date live pricing, and also if you want to check out a full review, a written review, along with lots of pictures, then check out the link to my website. There is links in the description below. And finally, subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other reviews coming out. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. So let's get straight into the video. So the Garmin Vivosmart 3 has been out since about April time. It retails about $150 or 139 UK pounds, and it's a direct competitor to the Fitbit Charge 2. Now, it does have some great new features that are included, but it does all the basic stuff like step tracking, calorie burn, stairs climbed, and all the usual things you would expect from a fitness tracker. But some of the interesting features that it's got is 24/7 heart rate monitoring with stress monitoring, and also a new strength workout profile, which has got the ability to be able to count reps for certain exercises. Now, these are just some of the features that are available, and in this review I'm going to take you through the basic functionality of the design, but I'm also going to talk to you about some of the key features and how they work in practice and whether they're really worth spending the money to buy this device. So starting with the unboxing, the Vivosmart 3 comes in a Coke sized box. Now this box is pretty simple and it's pretty in keeping with Garmin's boxing policy. Now inside the box you get the Vivosmart 3, a charger which plugs into a USB port or a USB charger, and also the instruction manual, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the actual contents of the box. So let's get down to the details of the actual device. Looking at the Vivosmart 3, it's made of an elastomer material with a buckle band. Now this is becoming quite common to have a buckle band on fitness wearable products. Now I believe the buckle design enables the watch to be flush with the skin, and it gives you a tight fit, especially when it's got a wrist-based heart rate monitor. On the front of the Vivosmart 3 there is this invisible screen. Now this is activated by raising the wrist or by giving it a double tap, and it's pretty responsive and a pretty good screen. Now the screen is really easy to use, and I found it's really easy to use as well when you've got clammy hands, or you've got really wet hands from either being in the pool or doing something else where your hands would get wet. The screen is still responsive and it's still active, and I think this is down to the slightly abrasive material that's used for the screen. Now I have found the screen does lack brightness when it comes to really bright sunny conditions. And I found this when I was on holiday in Crete, when I was testing the device. In some of the sunny conditions, it was sometimes difficult to read the screen. I had to bring it closer to my face. If you turn around the back of the Garmin Vivosmart, you've got the Elevate heart rate monitor and also the charging port. This charging port is going away from the standard that Garmin said they were set with the Garmin Fenix5 and has introduced another standard. Now this is similar to the Fitbit charging port that they use. So all you do is simply put it onto the back and give it a full charge. It takes about 1.5 hours to give it a full charge, and the battery life is said to last up to 5 days. It's also waterproof up to 50 meters. However, one thing that I have found this device, it doesn't track swimming activities, which is a big shame. One big important miss that I found, it's got no built-in GPS, and you can't pair it with a smartphone to use the GPS of that device. So this is a big miss, I think. Some of its competitors like the Fitbit Charge 2 or even the Fitbit Alta HR have all got connected GPS. So one thing about a wearable, if you need to be wearing it all day, especially when it's got sleep tracking as this one does, you need to be wearing it throughout the night. I found wearing this device, it's really comfortable, it's really light, and it's really good to wear. So overall, I think the design is really good. I also think it's really comfortable to wear, and it's really lightweight. Just briefly touching on that battery, as I said before, it takes about 1.5 hours to charge, and Garmin say it lasts up to 5 days. Now I found in real world use it's lasting about 4 days, and this is with medium usage. Given that in fact it's got no GPS built in, I think this is a pretty low battery life, given the Fitbit Alta HR lasts up to 7 days. So moving on to the activity tracking, it tracks things like steps, floors climbed, intensity minutes. It also tracks your 24/7 heart rate and also your resting heart rate. It also tracks your stress levels as well, and I'll talk more about that later. One thing I want to talk about is got Move IQ, which is Garmin's answer to automatic tracking when you are doing an activity. So if you forget to set the device, which it's only set currently to running and walking, it will automatically detect that you are exercising. Now, one thing I found with this and I really liked is that it would notify you by a beep and an alert on your wrist via a vibration that it activated a activity. So in the cases when I've been testing, it's been walking, and it was pretty accurate. It said that I've been walking for about 8 minutes, which actually when I've been testing with another device, it's actually 9.5, so it's not that much out. I found the step tracking to be really accurate. I've also found the floors climbed, the intensity minutes and calorie burn pretty in line with what I found with other wearables, and also my resting heart rate is also pretty much in line with other Garmin wearables. So moving on to the fitness features, it covers running, walking, cardio, strength and other. Now it doesn't have swimming, as I've already mentioned, and it's a shame given it's a waterproof device. However, I think it just covers enough for someone that's looking for a medium standard fitness tracker, and I think it will give those of you that are looking for this type of device enough to work with. One of the things that you need to understand is that it doesn't have built-in GPS, so it doesn't track your running or walking activities via a GPS track, so it's using the sensors within the device. Now, when I did go out for a run, I used the Sunto Sport HR and a Fenix5 X, and the stats were pretty much in line with each other. So despite the lack of GPS, it's pretty good. However, it won't work with cycling. So if you are into cycling, this is one of your main sports, then this device is probably not for you, and maybe look for something else with either connected GPS or with GPS built in. One of the other key fitness features that's been added to the Vivosmart 3 is VO2 Max estimation. Now this is done either through when you do a running activity profile and you set it and you go out and it will calculate your VO2 max, or you can actually do a test, and you can do this by just walking for 15 minutes and it will calculate your heart rate and various other things. Now, one point to note, it is just an estimation like with any other fitness wearable. Even if you're wearing a 600-pound Garmin Fenix5 X, or you're wearing a 150-pound Vivosmart 3, it's still using the same algorithms, are still using the same technology. So what you've got to consider is an estimation, and if you want a true VO2 max, then you need to go to a lab and be hooked up to all kinds of machines, and most people haven't got the time or the money to do that. However, that being said, when I've been comparing the VO2 Max performance data that I've been getting back to the other wearables that I wear, it's pretty much in line. So I think it's pretty accurate in terms of the estimation. So it's a pretty good choice. Now, one of the other features that I want to talk about is stress tracking. Now, this is enabled by the 24/7 heart rate monitoring. And when I first read about this, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick, and I thought I was going to cover it in a couple of seconds and just saying, yeah, it's got stress tracking. However, that's what I first thought when I started using the device. And when you look on the device for the first time and go to the stress tracking on the actual wearable, it's just a graph and it tells you how stressed you are at that given time. And I thought, well, okay, that's great. However, it's only after a couple of days you start to get data around how stressed you have been throughout the day and different stress levels, and being able to use that data to be able to say, right, okay, maybe if I change this or change that. So within the Garmin Connect app or on the Garmin Connect website, you can look at your data in depth and look at various different points throughout the day. So if I take one particular day, which was a Saturday, yesterday, I can relate to that Saturday. I can see where the peaks were and where the low points were when I wasn't as stressed and when I was working out. So I think this is really useful. I think Garmin's still got a long way to go with this, and I think it will integrate pretty well with the sleep track and the overall ecosystem. Okay, moving on to the strength profile and the rep counting. Now, this is a big addition for the Garmin Vivosmart 3. What it basically does is you can set the wearable that you're doing strength training, and then when you're doing certain types of exercises, it will count the reps you're doing. And then when you are going on to the resting phase, it will then count the amount of rest, and then you can start again and doing the reps. Now, when I've used this in practice, I think it works reasonably well, but it's not fantastic. So for instance, it will catch things very easily like dumbbell curls, it will catch bench press, it will catch a variety of different exercises that involve the arms or the upper body. Where it does lack is in the legs, so it doesn't catch things like a leg press, and it doesn't catch anything like that. However, it does catch squats and it does catch sit-ups. Now, it did quite often miscount and didn't catch them all. So throughout my tests, I did a series of 8 reps for every exercise. As you can see with some of these pictures, you will see that it's not counted some of the exercises. It also, as well, if the exercise got a similar direction of travel, so for instance, a bench press has got a similar trajectory of travel for the actual movement as a shoulder press, it will count it as a shoulder press, but it still counts it. So you can change it afterwards within the app, and you can edit it. So it still needs some perfecting, and I'm not sure how they're going to get around this. Now, it is only limited to the wrist that you've got the device on. So if you've got the device on your right or your left wrist, then you've got to make sure that you are doing exercises where you're using both wrists, or you're doing an exercise that it doesn't involve single weights. Now, I did test it out by swapping the wearable over to the other wrist, and it did capture the exercise on the right wrist, but when I moved it to the left wrist, it registered it as another type of exercise, which was a tricep extension instead of a dumbbell curl, and it didn't register all the reps. The Garmin Vivosmart 3 also includes sleep tracking, and I just want to talk very quickly about the sleep tracking feature. So what it will do, it will detect when you're in deep or light sleep or when you're awake. It'll also give you a rough estimation of when you fell asleep and also when you woke up in the morning. So I found, like most Garmin products, this is pretty accurate. It's been capturing correctly when I've been falling asleep within about 10 minutes, and also when I've been wake up in the morning within about 15 minutes. Okay, moving on to the HR accuracy and the 24-hour heart rate monitor. Now, the HR accuracy on any wrist-based wearable is always up for debate. It's always one of those questions that gets asked, how accurate is it? Now, I found with the Garmin Elevate technology, it's pretty accurate when it comes to exercises such as gym work or indoor cycling or running or walking. It will give you a very accurate heart rate count. However, when it comes to things like wrist-based activity, such as dumbbell curls or anything like press-ups, it can sometimes fall out. Also as well, if you are using it to broadcast your heart rate to another device, another Garmin device, which you can do with this device, if you're on a bike outdoors, the vibrations will affect the heart rate monitoring, and this is like any wrist-based heart rate monitor. Now, I would normally recommend to use a chest strap. However, with this device, you can't pair any external sensors, which is a real shame. Moving on to the smart features and the app, I'm going to quickly talk about these. Now, it does include call and text alerts, which is a simple buzz on your wrist. You can't answer them and you can't respond to them like you can with an Apple Watch. It also features weather updates as well when it's paired with a smartphone, and it also can control your music on your smartphone. Now, the Garmin Connect app is really useful. I think it's one of the better apps out there. It gives you lots of information, enables you to see your day and view your information whenever you want to use it. You also can use this app as well online, so if you log into the website you can see a lot more data. However, the mobile app is really good, really useful, and it syncs really well. Okay, to wrap up, the Garmin Vivosmart 3 is a good fitness tracker, and it's a good alternative to the Fitbit Charge 2. Now, I've scored it against the normal criteria, and this is just coming on the screen now. But overall, the device, I think, is a good value for money for what you get. When you compare it to other products, you get a 24/7 heart rate monitoring. You get the new strength and rep counting, which whilst it's hit and miss, it does work pretty well. And you also get a solid, very lightweight band. Now, some of the things that I don't like is a lack of GPS and no swim tracking. However, if you are looking for a wearable for around about £150, then this is a good option instead of getting the Fitbit Charge 2. And there is some deals on at the moment via Amazon, which they've got the links below. So thanks very much for watching this video. If you've liked it, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much. Speak to you all soon.